Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the indigenous one. First off, I'd like to thank everybody who joins us every time we do a broadcast. You know, with the way of the world going now, how we're being, the information we're given, the things we're given to think about, all I'm seeing is it's just confusing. And going by what you guys say in the chat, you guys see the same thing too. When I talk to the older guys, guys in their 70s and 80s, they would tell you stuff about their fathers, their mothers, their uncles and aunts that today we would find amazing. We wouldn't even believe it. But in the community, we have a whole bunch of people putting out information for our children to ingest. And let's face it, the internet basically is young people, 40 and under. They listen because they're trying to learn. They're trying to learn because what the schools is putting out, they ain't getting it from there. What the church is putting out, they ain't getting it from the churches. And nobody never really knows anything. So we have these YouTube influencers out here putting out information, and they putting out the most idiotic stuff. I mean, you can't even make out what these cats are saying. And so you guys can be my backup, me and Lisa's backup. We're going to share some of that with you tonight. And I just have one question. For what? Damn. We trying to change the whole scope of what we doing, and these cats just putting us right back in that. Right back in it. So when you talk to these older guys, they'll tell you, when they got their first job, their daddy would tell them, yo, every time you get paid, I want $5. And $5 because, it was back in the day, back in the 40s and 50s. The sons didn't want to give the money because, you make your money, it's yours. No, Pop said, give me $5. Okay. After they got the $5, when they were ready to leave home after high school, and when they was about to walk out the door, the father would dig under the chair, pull out that envelope with the $5 his son had given them over 3 years, 4 years, or however long they were in high school, or however long they was working, give them an envelope with the money he gave his father. The father would give it back to him so it can help him start as he's setting out in the world. We don't hear stories like that no more. We hear a whole bunch of dumb shit from so-called YouTube influencers. And in the ad, we said, we got to see that this is a global takeover, man. These cats that they putting out to talk to us, our children and everybody, check out what these cats say, how they say it, who they getting their information from. And we'll talk about it as we go along. Joining me tonight, as always, is the Accomack clan mother, Ms. Lisa Cypress. How you doing, Lisa?
Hey, Kayuk, Halito, Sayo. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it won't work without you.
Oh, it was working, man. It's been working great. Man, you had that great build with Rick Moon on Saturday. That was killer. That was awesome. You had the amazing build last night with Amani Bay or Andre, better known as not better known as Amani Bay, but actually known as Andre. That was awesome. That was amazing. Everybody should share that. That is just packed full of information. I mean, he killed it, and He didn't even share the information I thought he was going to share. He had other information he was going to share, but I guess you all have to wait for that either on his channel or when he comes back onto Carrie's, because he got some other stuff that'll blow your mind. But yeah, that coming from off of that build on yesterday, talking about some of these people that are imposters, some of these people that are in the bed with each other trying to just distract you, that are professional distractors. It's even more serious than being a distraction, because a lot of people, especially a lot of our young people, and I mean people, like you said, under 40 that have children even, um, they still don't know, right? A lot of people are still lacking at least a lot of the building blocks and foundation that we may have or may not have, but they are looking for answers, and you got the blind leading the blind out here, or you actually have the blind being misled by these puppets that are being controlled by the globalists, the greedy globalists want to control us. And as you'll find out that a whole lot of these non-colored or non-complected or non-melanated people are very much watching everything about us, and are very much interested in what we think and what we do and how we think. But
Every
even more important than that, they're interested in molding how we think, because that's part of our survival or our demise, right? How we think and how we build and how we see each other and how our society is will determine our extinction or our survival. And now they're trying to control it with all these nonsense, all these players and more. Some of them are in our community. A lot of them are in our community, indigenous community as well. We're not going to get on that because, it ain't even worth. I don't even know about airing our. See, I used to say you don't air your dirty laundry in public, but everybody ain't in the family. So I don't even know about that anymore. But anyway, right now we're dealing with outside folks that are causing problems. So let's deal with that. Um, Yesterday we talked about Tariq being actually partners, business partners with Michi X. I think she's an EE, but I think I did it wrong. Anyway, with Michi X and her partner Tariq, they act like they're feuding and hate each other, and they really are in love with each other, right? Not in love, but they are really in cahoots, you know. And that's important that we see these people for what they really are, and not be fooled by that. We also need to keep in mind that Tariq, let's see, which is that one? Okay, this is how we also need to keep in mind who's listening to Tariq. So right now we're gonna show a clip of a 16-year-old who's called into a show. Now, if you think your young folks ain't watching these people, think again. Is it playing? I don't hear it. Yeah. Hmm. I wonder why it's not playing. Can you hear it? Is your mic open, Carrie?
And they say, yeah, the stereotype is true. African Americans always are whining about police brutality, racism, and they're basically saying that they never experienced it. So it goes back to Africa and Africans in Africa. They start to say that, oh yeah, the African Americans are lazy people who just whine about racism. That's why when you see Nigerians who come to America, you see they always prosper because white supremacists, they allow them to be better than African Americans. So when they go back to Nigeria, they can tell all of them, say that, oh yeah, African Americans are lazy people. They're always whining about victim and that shit. When they're the Nigerians are allowed to prosper, just like how
Where in Africa did you go? Where did you go with that?
I went to Somalia. My parents are Somali.
Oh, okay.
And let me tell you something. First of all, Somali people in Minnesota, I want to tell you African Americans, please, you must keep a good eye on these Africans, Caribbeans, and Haitians. When these people, the white supremacists go into Africa and then feed them propaganda, they show them pictures of thugs and all this bullshit, so they'll think a bad stereotype about African Americans, and they actually believe this shit. So when the Democrat Party, their goal is to bring a bunch of minorities into this country so they can prosper them and leave the black people at the bottom, the African Americans. So, the Democrats don't ain't shit. They just want to say minorities, but they're bringing everybody up and leaving the African Americans down. And these people, they hate Black Americans. They think Black Americans are only basketball players, and they say some fucked up shit. And I noticed that in Nigeria is the capital of Kuni. Like, they literally have Jesus statues everywhere. And Somalians, they suck up to the Arabs. The Somalians, they suck up to Arabs. They're not to be trusted. I'm telling you right now. These people will sell you out in a minute like that. They are not to be trusted people. You must keep a good eye. Some of them are good.
Now, how old are you?
Some of them are feeding propaganda.
You're talking some real shit. Now, how old are you, brother?
I'm 16, bro. This shit is fucked up. Let me tell you another story, bro. So, you know how African Americans are getting killed in America? Yeah. Somalians, they think, they're just African Americans are just whining. All African Americans are thugs. So then I was listening. So a couple weeks ago, a Somali lady, she got killed by the police. Right. And I told my step-parents, I said, hey, why are you whining right now? Why are you talking bad about the police? You said the police are good people. I told them, when Philando Castillo in Minnesota got killed, none of y'all gave a shit. But when a Somali gets killed, not all of you want to say black love and shit. I said, fuck you niggas, man. Like, you people only care when you people get killed. But when African Americans get killed, you don't give a shit. So I'm trying to tell you, the Somali people are one of the most selfish people. If you go to Minnesota and you have a black American in Minnesota, these people, they don't want to get around other people. They only give a shit about their own people, which African Americans should do. Because the problem with African Americans is the liberals have trained black people, African Americans, to fight for everybody else, but they don't fight for themselves. Like illegal immigration. African Americans should not be fighting for anybody else. Illegal immigration affects African Americans. They should tell other people to hold their own nuts and tell all these people who come to this country, like the Africans, they come to this country, they think you're below them. You look at Nigerians, everybody in the comment section knows. These Nigerians, they call you Akana, they call you all this shit. Even Somalis, they have their own terms to disrespect African Americans. So they come into your country, they take up all the benefits, they send back to their country, and they bring more people to shit on you. And you know who these people will be used? The white supremacists will use these people as COINTEL agents. The COINTEL agents are going to be these new Africans who come in. Because these Africans, these Nigerians especially, they'll sell you out in a heartbeat. They will use these Africans to join your organizations. And when these Africans join your organizations, you'll be naive and you'll think they're your brother. But instead, they're working for the white supremacists. They just have blackface on. These Nigerians, they all believe in some white Jesus. They make a statue of white Jesus every single day. They just blackface. Like these bed witches in Nigeria. Nigeria is the capital of Cooney, bro. I'm just trying to tell you that. Be careful, you African Americans there, because these people, they will sell you out. They will pour you in your jobs. They're not to be trusted.
No. Slow down. I feel you. Now, brother. Now, do you live in Canada now? Where do you live now?
I live in Canada. This shit is racist as fuck, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
I'm leaving.
Canada is fucked up.
I know they try to act like Canada ain't got no racism.
Canada's the most racist piece of shit place because there's no black people here. It's just Africans who are coons. So it's a fucked up place, you know.
Now you said
Black Americans to unify. It's like only Black Americans right now. And if there's some good African Americans, you must Trump said, you must vet the people. You must see what they're thinking, because if they're on that white Jesus shit, tell them get out of here, because you can't trust people like this, because they'll these Africans, they say they love the police and shit. So I'm just letting you know, you gotta know what time it is. You know what I'm saying?
Now you said you were adopted.
Yeah, I'm a foster kid.
No, your parents, your adopted parents, they're from Somalia. Did they?
Yeah, the refugees, man. Because Somalians, they know how to they make fake government shit and they come to the country. I'm telling you something else. Somalis are the biggest welfare people. There's a stereotype that's saying that African Americans are welfare. We know it's white women, but these Somalis, they know all the scams of welfare. So I'm just trying to let you know that too. That's a lie. They think African Americans are on the welfare. It's these Somalis and Africans too. That's no joke.
Now let me ask you this. Now, how old were you when you were adopted?
I don't know. I have a different name than all of them, so I found out that these people treat me like shit. So I'm trying to escape this shit, but these people are pieces of shit, man. I don't like them.
Oh, so are you still staying with them?
Yeah, they took all my shit, but I'm gonna be trying to get out of here. But these people, there's some selfish motherfuckers, man. They bad people, cause they believe in Islam and shit. I'm not trying to disrespect Islam, but they some crazy people.
Are you okay? I mean, are you physically? Are you not in any kind of danger? Are you okay?
I'm gonna escape, but I'm just kind of in the meantime fighting for my money back so I can get my shit out of here. But these people are fucked up, man. I have some play haters, man. They want to be because I identify myself as an African American because they hate me. So I'm kind of in a little civil war with these people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They hate me, so I'm kind of in a little civil war with these people, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In this episode of Is It Just Me? Insight with T, you heard it for yourself. The young adopted brother, I guess he FBA, he's adopted by a Somali.
So this is what brothers, this dude right here that you see on the screen, didn't he just do a whole bunch of videos telling you that you from the place that you are the people that this little young cat was talking about? You see, when we say these cats out here confusing you, damn y'all. I mean, this is how bad it is. Everybody in the chat said the little 16-year-old sounds intelligent. And this cat up here asking them dumb shit. But y'all love him, y'all lick him in the ass, Tariq is a genius. These the cats that are up here tearing your minds up and your children's mind too. And that's why I say children, I'm saying under 40, because the 60s and 70 years old up here, they know. The youth are the 40-year-olds and under. And this is the kind of information they get. How do you not expect them to be confused? And these are and this cat gets loot. Or it's something that me and Lisa was talking about. Do they pad these cats' numbers just so other people can see it? Because I don't see what none of these people are saying that helps people. Nothing. And so maybe you may be here for entertainment purposes. I mean, okay, if you're here to get entertained, then you have at it. But seriously, y'all, this is how they can put up the Georgia Guidestones and none of us know. What you think about that, Lisa?
That's a fact. And yeah, that was very factual. Under 40, that's your youth, really. Because we've had such a crazy last 20 years. So many things have been hit upon us. And it's sad because nobody even notices. The young people don't know. And they're short-sighted, you know. So all they know is what's in the immediate 10, 15 years of their life, you know, that they've been conscious, you know. So they don't really know that this world's been turned upside down, and we had to go through, you know, crack cocaine and freaking you know, all kinds of daggone financial and police shootings and all kinds of daggone you know, losses of jobs and companies. There used to be factories, there used to be jobs. People could go from high school, people used to work trades, people used to build buildings, work on the roads. They don't even know all the things our own people used to do, where a man could have all kinds of different options in his life. So they don't see that. They all they see is what's right now. And that's a problem. And the fact that this guy's only 16 and he's like watching these guys. Okay, yeah, you know, he's smarter than and as Carrie had told me, this young dude smarter than they're going what's his name? Then they're going Tariq. The young dude, the young 16-year-old had more on the ball. He sees things that Tariq was sitting up there trying to send you back to Africa. And this young boy is living as a foster parent with Somali foster parent, as a foster kid with Somali foster parents. And he's like, don't trust the Africans. They ain't you, and they mean you no good. Let's go ahead and deal with this. This is Kevin Gillespie, right? He's Coffee and Kush and whatnot. And on the surface, y'all might think he's good. He seems like he's above the board. But we're gonna deal with what he does. Now let me tell you what he does do to give you a framework. He actually talks about being from this country. Yeah, everybody's not from Africa. Actually says we're not from Africa. Actually says we're from here, but he gives no further guidance than that. And he's anti-Indian. Now he probably is Afro-European and knows it with Gillespie. Probably is. However, he makes it very clear he does not like indigenous people or the indigenous American Indians. Okay. He also makes it very clear that he's a man of God. And these people are sun worshipers and moon worshipers and blah blah blah. And they don't have God in their lives. He talks about all these other YouTubers like that, and he says he has I put God first, and he waves this little fake Bible. It's not a fake Bible, but it's like a hotel Bible. It's real cheap. It's cheap and it hasn't been used. You can tell if you're a Bible reader. You can tell the stuff has not been cracked open and it's like brand new and cheap. And he waves that around as if it's really his Bible and he really read it. And he always was like, I'm God. I listen with God. And he gets a lot of views because people like hearing a brother talk about God. Uses that pastor damn witchery, that wizardry, that pastor wizardry, right? And that's what he does. You got anything to say?
No, I just, man, you know what? You know what I dream about sometimes? I dream about sometimes where all the brothers and the sisters here in America, we just make a sound to just throw everything out of whack.
And we sure could do that. That's what the elders and the ancestors said. All we gotta do is hit that right note together, and we can get reset this whole game. It's all it
But
takes.
but we listening to this shit. Check out what
Yes.
these cats say and how they say it, and you have to be. I mean, damn, you should
And
get it
he,
for yourself.
he calls it is his thing, his other broadcast, Kev University. So he acts like he's the professor, the dean, the students, and everything of a university that he has on his online show. And it's really crazy because it's also you got to think of it. He's using two angles. He's using the education angle, which is a late angle. We had our first university in 1837, but that's what the globalists, those greedy globalists, used to define the black elite, right? They put us in universities. Today they're going to find the black elite to separate us and to have them be our overseers. So he's got his own university, very similar. At the same time, he also uses those preacher points. So he's using like two of the European globalist tactics in his YouTube channel. But let's hear what he got to say.
Y'all people. Coffee custody in your hair.
Oh, it's having some glitch problems.
Bro, you a bitch, bro. It is like that coffee cup.
You see, just the communication.
That's what I want. Right there. That's what gives me the.
Yeah, it seems like it's not catching, Lise.
Fucking flames to keep going every day is to watch the community.
So Lisa, why don't we leave this one and go to the next one? What do you think about that? So we're gonna go to the next one.
Burn to the ground where there's no more foundation. Your whole lifestyle.
It won't go. It won't go. He's talking about he wants to see the Black online community burn and your whole lifestyle go away. But
everything you ever thought of, young man, is fake. I'll be mad. Bro, you.
he says he tells this guy, he says, "You're my son," and I mean it's really great. I wish it would play. Damn.
You a bitch. I'm a man too, brother.
I should have just audio recorded it. I didn't know it would do this though.
Okay. You
Okay.
go to the next one. Let's just go to the next one.
I've been denouncing God and Christ and the Spirit, and now here it is.
Let's come back to it, okay?
Yeah.
Let's get a next one, and maybe if I take some of these off.
You can do all you got to do is sound like this. Hello? Get off your feet, brother. Yeah, that's what I thought. You shut up. You sit right there like my son. And sit there and listen. You understand me, punk? You're my child. Oh, my Frank. Where your mama at? Huh? Where your mama at? Tell her to get on the phone right now. You little punk. You ain't gonna do nothing. I make sweet love to your mama, boy, while I tell you to get out the room. You understand me, boy? And tell you, look you right in your face and tell your bitch ass take the trash out. You little punk. Yeah, I'll be a bitch. You don't like the video. That's why I'll be a bitch right to her. I got her ass up right there. Destroy your little thought. See, it's the thing. He said he's going to destroy what? I said, look, destroy his little thought process.
That now, explain that. Explain what.
Be a man of God. He is following God.
So he said, look, you're my son. I'm your daddy, and I'm making sweet love to your mother, and I got her by the neck bent over, and I'm gonna tell you get your bitch ass out of here and go take out the trash, bitch. That's what he was saying, and he says I'm gonna destroy your thought processes. Like, who makes a whole scenario up where you are actually having sex with this guy you calling your son, and you're gonna have him see you daggone with his mama bent over and tell him to take out the trash, bitch. I'm gonna destroy your thought processes. This is a man who waves the Bible around and says he's a man of God. What God? What kind of God? I don't understand this. I don't get it.
No, what I don't get, and this is why I go with you when you say it, when you say influencers, are they really part of a bigger picture, or it's just stuff put out there to confuse people?
Because what I think is they promote this though. So a lot of people that are doing good stuff, like yourself, like Amani, like different people that are actually have content of value, they don't get the they're not getting exposure. Like if you go to look for, whether it's a black whatever, or an indigenous whatever, or Indian, you're gonna get the trash at the top.
Right.
The trash is gonna be at the top. They got fake people who wearing tinfoil on their hats, calling themselves chief, and it may not, probably ain't even American at all. Most likely are African, like seriously Nigerian, but got all these views. You know, that's the thing that it is that yeah, this content is being not only is promoted and other contents being hidden. Now this sister, this is Cynthia G, and I just saw her today. And at first I thought, okay, this she got a lot of big following. And if the numbers are real, which like we said, we don't know if they are or not, but if the numbers are real, she seems to be rather young. And when you listen to her, she says she has a psychology degree, so she's, she has. She says she has to have qualifications to be a relationship expert, as opposed to Kevin Samuels, who people listen to, and he has no qualifications and don't have to say anything about qualifications because being a man. So that okay, that might be true, but at the same time, she doesn't seem very educated, and I listen to her. She doesn't sound very intelligent, and then she does stuff like this. Now this is just a snippet of a broadcast she had where she talks to White Zaddy, as she calls him, guy named, I don't know what's his name, Brian, who called into the show. She let him have the whole show and talked the whole time about what he thinks about black men and women.
Eat healthy, I eat healthy, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. So we did it.
You know what? Let me take it off. Let me take it off. I think that's what it is.
College, but you know, years old now. I mean,
So it's doing that again. So let's just move on, Lisa, because that's not working.
do that. I don't know why black men.
Is it because it's like, is it because of the platform it's on, or what is it?
So you had to follow nature and play both roles, and then they call black women overly aggressive, overly trying to think of the word, possessive, or
Yeah, Lisa, it keeps stopping.
like matriarchal one thing is.
Okay. Well, anyway, so this white man goes on to tell her, I can go ahead and explain it.
Natural role. It's really, really confusing because I'm the head of my household. I ask my wife for advice. She's educated.
That's all right. Okay. So anyway,
Decisions are mine. I spend the money I make.
Yeah, it just keeps stopping.
yeah, this guy talks about, first of all, how black men, the women are the more powerful. He actually welcomes working or doing business or collaborating with the black female, but the black men are weak and feminized, and he said they depended, and they disrespect the black female, and they drag her down, all kinds of stuff. Like, he just went on to everything, talking about how he in his household, he makes all the money, he has all these businesses, he has all this money put aside. He says, I have lots of money put aside, I have a couple of kids, and I make all the money, and I give my wife something when she needs it, when she asks for it, he said. And he says, but I make the money, so I decide how the money's spent, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Oh, Yeah, she's a horrible person. That's right. Of course, Copper Color Lifestyle would know. She's always in the know. Right. So I mean, she's this is horrible. Okay, so this is the thing about it. She's got a whole crew, a whole lot of young women, and I'm sure a lot of, because she's also says she's gone to college. I'm sure a tremendous amount of college age students are watching and listening to her, and that's a problem because she's formulating our future, right? With her ignorance. Her ignorance is being promoted amongst so many hundreds of thousands of our people, right? This is crazy. She says that this guy's in there saying all this stuff about what he thinks about us. And she's like, yeah, what, tell me what you think about us, because we need to know your opinion, because you are the dominant society and you are this. And what's a white man, and let me ask you this. Do you want to work with black men? What do you think about him? Are you intimidated by him? No, you're not intimidated by him, are you? You don't really care about him, do you? Kind of stuff, that kind of stuff. It's like, why do they need your attention so much? Why do they seek your attention? Why are they so intimidated by you? Stuff like that. It's insane. It is insane. And then she does follow-up talks about this with her girls, and she talks about how, yeah, so many men were mad because she had this white man on, and let him talk like that, and why these black men aren't about anything. And you see how he they don't know how they could take an example from him. This man obviously said that his children he doesn't see. His wife, he just treats as a sex object. He is a control freak, and he's a domineering jerk who wears a condom with his wife, he says, because doesn't want any more children. But that means, first of all, that that's the reason you don't trust your wife.
No, that ain't.
And if you got so much pride, I don't want to have 30 children. What? You're not gonna have 30 children. You're only 38, 7 years old. How you gonna have 30 children? You'd have to have dad going to child a year, and you'd be behind getting started. So I mean, what are you talking about? Like, you got so much money. How come you gonna wear a condom with your wife every day and say there's no excuse for black men not having these women having children out of wedlock? Condoms are easy and free. I wear a condom with my wife, and even though, because I just don't want to have anyone. This is what these people. This stuff is controlled by this globalist agenda.
Okay, so listen, I just need the guys on this one. So you heard what she said. The cat puts on a condom when he with his wife. Now I say that ain't the reason. The reason he wears a condom because he out there running them like ponies. And no telling what he got out there. And he wears a condom, probably telling his wife some bullshit. But he's telling that using that condom story to keep himself safe. That's what I think it is. Because no guy who wears a condom with a wife. Who does that? So, and this sister right here getting schooled by him. Got her. She's in the prayer position most of the conversation, listening to daddy. These are the people that influence our children. This is why our children talk back to their parents. This is why children tell their parents, you don't know what you're talking about. These are the influencers. And you can tell they go globalists because they don't have nothing that says life in them. It's like the dude said, look at her paint job. Where's her eyebrows? Huh?
Yeah, like that's like a female impersonator. Like she just drew an eyebrow on the damn forehead.
Yeah.
She just drew a forehead brow. She got a forehead brow. Why? so she could look awake. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
man. So
aborting male babies, by the time you know it's a boy or a girl, you better not be aborting nobody. If you know what the sex is, you better not be aborting. And what the hell she talking about? Male baby? What the hell's wrong with her? Like why are you promoting young girls hating our men? See, she got that's why she took her degree in the psychology. She crazy. And she ain't healed herself. There's a lot of angry, hurt women that are leading a lot of angry, hurt women. And you don't get better by listening to somebody who has the same affliction. You don't. You don't get better by listening to someone who has a worse affliction or the same affliction that you have. And that's a problem because they haven't seen no better. They can't do no better. They don't know no better. And we're going into the future with these people echoing in the ears of so many people that they shouldn't have an audience with. All right, somebody broke her heart real bad. That's right. All right, this is what y'all. Several months back, I had my aunt and uncle. They've been married 70 some years, and let me tell you, we have we have our love and our indigenous, our Afro-indigenous, our Afro-Amerindian, and our Amerindian community. We have love. There's a lot of enduring relationships, a lot of loving relationships, and they work a variety of ways. Like I've said, I don't know if I've said it on here, but I had an aunt who had a boyfriend, and she dated who she was in her 50s, he was in her 30s, and they dated until she was 80 some years old. He took care of her. She had Alzheimer's. He took care of her till she died. So we have all kinds of relationships and ways of caring for one another and doing for one another. She helped him get his life together. He was an alcoholic. He was cute. He was tall. He was funny, but he was an alcoholic. She got him a daggone career, a trade. She got him to get his stuff together. He got sober, and he took care of her when she got old and couldn't do for herself. He made sure she had a in-house nurse, and he made sure her nails were polished and she did her Jane Fonda exercises. This is the thing. We have all kinds of relations. My aunt and uncle that was married for 70 some years that came on here, they had a relationship, and at times they still do when she's lucid, but they giggled and they laughed and they had each other's back and they would lie for each other and they were down for each other and they hide steaks together. They did whatever. They were down. Okay. They made it through thick or thin. They raised, I don't know how many kids. I think I don't know how many cousins I got, like 8 or 9. She had kids. And they raised their kids and they got a freaking whole tribe full of grandchildren. And so, I mean, and great grandchildren, great grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? We have that in our families. If you don't have it in your immediate family, then that means you're not reaching out far enough. Because if you reached out far enough, you would start knowing that you have that in your family. It may not be immediate. You need to reach out to extend it. Okay, because we have a way of being with each other that is not the European way. And a lot of us don't know it. Like what Carrie described, what his daggone uncle told him about how his granddaddy handled him and made him give him money. And then gave him back that money as a seed to start his life. He took that money and the boy was mad every time he probably give him that $5. But his dad acted like a bank account for his future, which was friggin' awesome. And that's what we should see. We have these ways in our family when we start to talk, and we don't need, like I said, if you got a bunch of crap in your immediate family, move out. That's why you get to know these people, these cousins and distant cousins and kin that's in your nation. That's why you do it, because as you get to know your real tribe, you got people that got more in common with you than you'll know, but also have different experiences that you will benefit from knowing. such as that, such as knowing that people did things different. Like my parents, my mother, we never had, my mom always worked. Some of the time she got married to my dad. My dad was 20, my mom was 15. My brother was born when she was 16. They left Virginia and they went to Daggone, New York with his mama. He had to give his whole check to his mother. My mom was livid. But she, in retrospect, she didn't realize, I had to tell her, Mommy, you were 15. But, she was mad because she was married to my daddy, and why he got to give his whole check to his mom. That's his mama. He gave his whole check to his mama. Well, then he was giving his mama his money. Part of it was supposed to be saved. Come to find out, his mama spent his money. So that made my father start giving his money to my mother, and she saved it. And then he was like amazed at how much she had saved. And then she got a job and she started saving that too. And he was like, they learned to trust each other and build together. They end up saving enough money to move out of the projects in New York and the Bronx and build a house in New Jersey. He trusted her to have his back. She trusted him. He physically built part of the house, actually. And he worked on the cars. He learned. But understand, we had opportunities to have trades. He was trained to work on cars, not only in the military, but for General Motors. Those opportunities are not like they used to be. Or maybe they are. Maybe we're not seeking them. Maybe we're not encouraging our kids to do that. I don't know. But we need to understand how our people got to be successful in the past. That's a mechanism. Like my aunt, she learned to be a jeweler in New York. She apprenticed as a jeweler, right? Are those opportunities still there? I don't know. But we need to know what our cousins and kin did so we can tell the youth and make them think about themselves differently as far as what their options are. In addition, when my family, this is how my mother and father worked. My mother worked in the evenings. My dad worked construction because General Motors wouldn't hire him in New Jersey. They wouldn't. They took him. He wanted to transfer. They wouldn't accept him for racist reasons in New Jersey as they would in New York. So he had to go start working construction. So he worked construction, and my mom wasn't home when he came home. It was just us. And so he would, she trained us to do for our dad, but she went to work and she cooked and he took care of the yard. He fixed the cars. You know what I mean? And my dad would come home and his truck would come into the driveway and we would run his bath water. And then when we heard his bath water go down in the tub, we would make his plate. And his drink and his bread would be out on the table. And then while he was eating his food, we would make his lunch for the next day. You see, even though she wasn't home, we kind of maintained that daddy had to be taken. We took care of daddy. We took care of our father. At the same time, you might say, well, who was taking care of your mom? Well, yeah, that's true. But my mom was cool. My dad did a lot. Like I said, he took care of the yard. He fixed the cars. He made sure we, whatever. He paid, had money. But then also there were times when he did not have a job because it was construction. Did I ever hear my mom say, you ain't only one work? I'm bringing in the money. No, I never heard that. I never even knew my dad didn't work until after he died. And I started reflecting over their lives and writing his eulogy and my mom's eulogy. And I was like, Dad, there was sometimes Daddy wasn't working. Didn't even know that. Didn't even know it. Because he was, even if he wasn't working, he wasn't sitting around the house. He would be out there outside fixing on something, doing something, or getting some side work, taking in scrap metal or working on somebody's lawn or doing something. Because that's what we did. We knew how to treat each other. We knew that he had to provide, even if he couldn't provide. And that way he was trying to, he would provide. He taught me how to garden. We always had a garden. He always kept up everything around the house. He maintained the house. He fixed things. He fixed the car. But in retrospect, I had aunts who built their own houses. Great aunts. And he knew that. He grew up. Those were his aunts. So these aunts married different kind of guys, right? They fixing the houses. The guys making money, or he had different things. He fished, or he did whatever. So we flex with our relationships. Maybe you building a house. Maybe I'm bringing in money. Maybe I'm doing something else. Maybe I'm able to paint or create or do whatever. We are okay with working with each other's roles. We respecting each other's roles. That's how we do it. It's these Europeans came into this country with the mindset that women were property and that anything the woman has, it is yours. Women were essentially slaves, y'all. And they still have that frame of mind. And they're trying to tell you, like in this video with that girl, that our men want us to be slaves to them. If the only reason they have that mindset is because of this European daggone way of thinking of relationships, that women are property, that you got to have the finest, best one, and that's how you win. It's a status symbol. See, we looked at each other's character. We looked at each other's qualities that complemented each other and each other's abilities that complement each other. We looked at a lot more than that. Of course, we liked to have an attractive mate, but we looked at, even as a 15 and 16-year-old, they could see the quality. Because my dad was an attractive man. My mom was a beautiful woman, not to say nothing. But they saw their quality was there. If my dad looked the same and he wasn't worth shit, my mom wouldn't have married him. I guarantee you that. And then vice versa with my dad. He wouldn't have married her if she was like a worthless little hoe. We looked at the content of our character, our daggone ethics, our abilities. We look deeper than the superficial. Right now, we're trying to get something that's valuable out of superficial values. You can't have superficial values and get anything worth anything. She's looking at this man talking about he pays the bills and his wife whatever, and she's not looking at the fact that this white man is abusive, completely abusive, disrespectful, controlling. Okay, now European relationship versus American Indian relationships. They select people based on the Euro best. They select it based on the best look. What do other people think of who I have? What am I going to gain financially by this union? He even said in the video, which you couldn't hear, that marriage is a financial tax benefit. That's what he said. He didn't say anything about loving his wife. The first thing he said was marriage is a financial tax benefit. And the dumb Cynthia G didn't even catch that stuff. She didn't catch the fact that he acted like his wife was a piece of property. She didn't catch the fact that he said that marriage is a tax benefit. He said a lot of mad, disrespectful things in that video about his own family. He says he don't see his kids, and he tries to have sex with his wife just about every day, and the only thing he has time for is to go home, eat, and maybe have sex with his wife 7 days a week. He takes his kids to school. That's about it. Come on now. They think that being the breadwinner means that they're the boss. We have a mutual way of respecting each other. We have a selection that's based upon compatibility and values and compatible abilities and values and goals. That's what we should have. But see, we're all confused with trying to figure out what the baddest bitch is, that we got our men running to white women because that's what's portrayed as the baddest. So all these athletes are running for these white girls because they want the shiny great thing that the white men are putting in front of them as the baddest and the best. We're confused. The breadwinner is not the boss in our daggone community. We respect everybody, each other, for both our gifts and abilities. If you fixing something that's broke, we appreciate that. If you daggone, cutting something or doing something or whatever, mending something or figuring something out on the computer or doing whatever, we respect each other's abilities. You also have to understand that nobody is perfect. We understand that as a people. That's what we have, because we are natural people. We believe in natural balance. They believe in dictatorship and imperialism. Understand that we have been influenced by this society, this globalist society, where women are assets and women are property. We believe in being balanced with each other and respect, mutual respect. Kids are seen as a respect. Now, that's big, because everybody was talking about everybody wanting to. This man said he wanted to abort. He got all this money, but he wanted to abort his kids. I don't understand, because a lot of our people think of abortion as, oh, well, I can't afford it. I can't afford. Really, that's really what it is. I can't afford another child, right? That's what a lot of us think of. But because we've lived in a society that requires that we go to a job that somebody else is controlling, and we have all these things that we need for our lives, bills, exterior, energy is being supplied by somebody else, water supplied by somebody else, that we can't stay at home and work, or we can stay at home and work now, but in a different way. So what is this about? It's about the fact that they see and they've taught us that kids are seen as an expense. That is the view of the Euro dictator minded white male. That's what their view is. It really is. And so that's what we sit up there. We think that, oh, I got to be smart about my family. I got a family plan. They teach you that in school. You got a family plan. You got a family plan. Why not plan how your family should be? Why not plan how you want to live your life? And if you want to do it the way, do you have to buy this damn house that costs so much and have all these vehicles that cost so much? Can you get y'all know y'all can get a vehicle and make it run off damn steam if you just put your mind to it and watch enough videos. Really not that complicated. Y'all know that you can convert a vehicle to diesel fuel and have it run on chicken grease. I have a friend that did that. You know that, right? You know, you make your world what you want to make it. Staying in these cities and being and living in this society that everything is dependent on the system that is not your own, you put yourself in that trap. You put yourself in that trap. We have to do something to change that, because that's what makes us think and live as if children are an expense. And we've always actually been raised to feel children were a blessing. And it's not just because they were more hands on a farm. It's because we believe in nature and we believe that they're fruit. They're the fruit of the tree. They're the leaves, the fruit that becomes the fruit. They're the seeds that become the fruit. Having each other's back. Having each other's back means you're gonna be respectful, and you're gonna be protective of each other. Especially this whole feminized men who want to rip a woman apart and call her out her name. That's not us. And they know that's not us because our music used to reflect that. Men being all in love and wanting to be, with, oh, I love you and I love you. I want to be there and walking in the rain and doing all kinds of stuff. That's what our music. And they were like, no, we need to change that. We need to change that. We don't need these men thinking like that and these women thinking like that. So they don't even promote music that edifies us, that brings us together, that unifies us. Oh, flat out, global shit don't matter much if you don't plant your seeds. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Well, you're right. I mean, you have to. I mean, but that's part of the agenda, right? All this is to get women to say, wait a minute, I'm holding out for Mr. Right, and if Mr. Right might be Mr. Right, and I don't care. I have standards. When you ain't got your shit together, you crazy as a bat. You're a broken woman. Talking about and it's the same for these men, these Kevin Samuels, these daggone weak, feminized men who aren't even daggone worthy of anybody. But they're gonna talk about how these women ain't up to his standard and all this kind of stuff. You need to be up to this. You need to look like this. Look like this, man. Come on, man. All the power goes to each other, to the man. All this high respect for male power and superiority is what the globalists, and that's what Euro dictatorships are all about. But we have a high respect for women. Women are great leaders. We're great daily planners. I don't think, there's some things that you don't want us doing because sometimes we get our emotions in, and that's just a fact. Estrogen, I call estrogen a objectivity blocker. There's some things you don't want a woman planning for you. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it. I feel that, but that's good because that's why you share responsibilities and you share the lead, right? We're great daily. Nobody can multitask and plan a day and plan a daggone, even a damn event like a woman can. And we're good at negotiating as well. But we also have to have a reverence for men. Men are great leaders and they're very strategic. Also, they're extremely objective. So they get to kind of look at things with a clear eye without the estrogen. And they're protective. So they also have this spidey sense where they can sense danger, sense someone not being of the right source. You see, warriors. Yes, that's right, Hawkeye. It's a balance. It's a natural balance because we're the natural people. We're with nature. We have to have confidence in each other's ability to lead each other. Trust. Trust is something that was the basis of all our relationships. Respect and trust. Baby, if you don't respect me, you're not going to trust me. And a lot of people marry guys, girls, these women are marrying guys, and they don't trust them to make a plan for nothing. Oh, he ain't going to mess it up. He don't know what he's doing. He can't do that. He can't do that. Why are you with him? Why are you with him if you do not trust him for nothing? If you don't respect him at all? A lot of these relationships are starting and they're going to end like that because you are not yoked with the right person because you're with somebody you don't respect, bottom line. And they don't respect you. But you have to have that respect and trust. And you have to have confidence in each other's ability to lead and have a shared leadership. So when I fall, you got me. When you fall, I got you. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. And this is what everybody is going to have to remember. And through all this shit, what Lisa just said, every one of us has a mom and a dad. We have a mother and a father. So now the agenda is to mess that whole game plan up. Guys want to be girls, girls want to be guys. And you know how we normally go for anything. Def jab. Whatever they say, we go for. Whatever's put out there, what these influencers are put out here for. They're to influence your thinking because they know most of us don't even think. Because if we did, everything would be in our favor. If we just lived a more natural life, we'll be closer to our goal than you think. Don't need nobody. But we don't want to do it. So what me and Lisa are doing tonight, listen, all these cats out here that's influencing these youth, because they don't expect the children being born today to have grandchildren. That's how fast they trying to get rid of you. And if we keep playing these games, he can be a girl if he want to. No, he can't. There's a reason we're all here. And you think that you can just take it on yourself because somebody told you you could do something? That ain't how life works. Everybody has a mother and father. And if you go ahead and try to blur those lines, the women want to come over and be men, the men want to be women, you'd be extinct in here. So keep that in mind. And we're going to end it for tonight. I appreciate everybody being here, but check out these influencers, man. They here to mess it up. They're not here to make nothing great. Check out what they saying. Check out what they doing. Listen to them. But listen to yourself first. Always listen to what you say. And always do with the people that you look up to in your family. The people that are in your family, the people that you respect, the people that taught you something. What would they say? You know they would tell you the truth. You know they wouldn't bullshit you. So kind of stay close to those thought patterns and those ways, your indigenous ways. So, Lisa, did you want to have a last word?
Well, I just wanted to say that, yes, these people are out here and they have horrible messages. Every message may not, show the stuff that I was trying to point out to you. But they have this all interlaced, at least once a week or once a month, once every few months. They're going to put this out there because that's what they're there for. They're there to destroy us. Understand that everybody listening to this stuff is a problem. So we need to protect ourselves and protect our future. But also just talk to your young people. Talk to people that aren't your young people. Talk to, you young people that, and it is hard these days because they don't respect a lot of people because of just what they've experienced. There's not a lot out there to respect. So, but we need to reach out as much as we can to try to help them, help them figure it all out and keep us going. That's it. You guys have a good night.
We'll see you later on in the weekend, especially on Friday. Check me and Lisa out on Friday. Got a doozy for you. Hope you guys have a good week. We'll see you Friday.